2021 was a busy year for cybercriminals. You don't have to look much further than your morning news to know that the number of cyber attacks has increased dramatically over the last year. Deloitte actually released their 2021 Future of Cybersecurity report that found that 98% of US executives said that their company had experienced one form of cyber incident over the last year. Bloomberg also forecast that ransomware in 2021 could exceed the entire last decade combined. One of the main reasons for this increased number of cyber attacks is the shift to the cloud. The pandemic obviously accelerated this shift and forced a lot of companies in all industries to move their data to the cloud. Most breaches actually come from misconfigurations of the cloud, leading to vulnerabilities in companies' databases. Cybercriminals are becoming more sophisticated. This is evident by the scale of their attacks. So looking back in 2021, I'll go over a couple of notable ones for the year. I'll start with JBS, which is the meat supplier that had to pay $11 million in ransom after a cyber incident. Colonial Pipeline also had a hack that took down the largest fuel pipeline, and they had to shut down the entirety of their gasoline pipeline system for the first time in its 57-year history. T-Mobile was another one from this year, where a hacker stole data from over 50 million customers. And the most recent one is the Lodge4j, which is a software that many companies, including Amazon, Apple, and Tesla, use to log and track user data. A piece of faulty software was actually installed and exposed these companies to about 1.8 million cybersecurity attack attempts in the first few days that it was public. Almost half of these attempts actually came from known malicious groups. It's already one of the most wide-reaching security breaches ever and could impact the entire internet. Governments are starting to intervene as these cyber attacks start to threaten national security. In the US, Biden has made cybersecurity a huge priority. In August, the White House actually hosted a cybersecurity summit with CEOs in multiple industries, including big tech and insurance. And the result of this meeting was billions of dollars committed to increase cybersecurity efforts. So as an example, to name a few of the commitments, Microsoft committed $20 billion over 5 years, which is 4 times its current rate of investment. Google committed $10 billion over 5 years and to train 100,000 Americans in cybersecurity skills. And IBM also committed to train over 150,000 people in cybersecurity skills over the next 3 years. Now I'm going to go over some key drivers for the cybersecurity industry in 2022. The first one is continued shift to the cloud. Only 50% of the world's data is currently stored in the cloud, and in 2022, we think more companies will continue to shift their data to the cloud. This will include a lot of legacy industries like the financial services industry that has been slower to adopt cloud computing. As companies shift to the cloud, there's going to be this heightened need to secure it, to reduce the number of vulnerabilities that will lead eventually to cyber attacks. In addition to this, there are also a lot more Internet of Things devices that are leading to more vulnerabilities that cyber criminals can exploit. Ultimately, in 2022, there will continue to be a larger attack surface for these cyber criminals. The second point is there will likely be increased government funding and private sector investment. A report that Gartner published actually predicts that by 2024, 30% of the world's nations will pass some sort of legislation around ransomware. Biden's $1 trillion infrastructure bill actually commits about $2 billion to cybersecurity initiatives. Cybersecurity spend is also becoming non-discretionary for businesses. The same report found that 40% of companies say that their board of directors will have dedicated teams overseeing cybersecurity efforts by 2024. While all this investment in cybersecurity is great, it hasn't necessarily led to a decrease in the number of cybersecurity incidents. And the reason for this is that we still need cybersecurity experts. A lot of these Fortune 100 companies that have huge cybersecurity budgets don't have the correct people with the right cybersecurity skills. For this reason, there's a lot of investments in this technology that simply never gets deployed. In 2022, we expect there will be more cybersecurity skills training and a lot of job growth in the industry. The last point that I'll mention is consolidation. Currently, the cybersecurity industry is quite fragmented, with a few large organizations, but a number of small ones. One report actually predicts that about 30% of people will end up using the same cybersecurity provider for all of their needs. And for that reason, we think there will continue to be more consolidation in 2022. Overall, the threat of cyber attacks is on the rise and the financial damage is only increasing. There is no real end in sight without the help of these cybersecurity companies.